Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskricha Naram Cheva Narottama Devam Saraswati Vyasam Tato Dhammadayat Nasta Prayesh Badrish Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavate Tamasloke Bhakti Bhavita Naistaki. I wrote a letter to some devotees some years ago, and they wrote back to me, and the same quote that I used in the Bhagavatam in my letter to them a couple of years ago, they wrote back to me, and I read it, and I was just struck by it. It's one of those really nice quotes. So it's in Bhagavatam. I just read it here. I wanted to read it. It's so nice. Sometimes when you may be reading something and it just catches your intelligence, and it's a very wonderful quote or something you want to memorize. So this is very nice. 498, Canto 4, Chapter 9, Text 8. Translation. O my Master, Lord Brahma is fully surrendered unto you. In the beginning you gave him knowledge, and thus he could see and understand the entire universe, just as a person awakens from sleep and visualizes his immediate duties. You are the only shelter of all persons who desire liberation, and you are the friend of all who are distressed. How, therefore, can a learned person who has perfect knowledge ever forget you? Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be forgotten even for a moment by his surrendered devotees. The devotees understand that the Lord's causeless mercy is beyond his estimation. This is the quote that I liked. The devotee understands the Lord's causeless mercy is beyond his or her estimation. He cannot know how much he is being benefited by the grace of the Lord. The more a devotee engages himself in devotional service of the Lord, the more encouragement is supplied by the energy of the Lord. The devotee always feels obliged to him for having achieved increased power in devotional service by his grace. The Lord is addressed here as Artha Bandhu. Artha Bandhu means friend of the distressed. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, after many, many births of executing severe austerities in search of knowledge, one comes to the point of real knowledge and becomes wise when one surrenders to Krishna. So, the devotee understands that the Lord's causeless mercy is beyond his estimation. And point number 2, the devotee cannot know how much he is benefited by the grace of the Lord. So a devotee understands that the mercy he's receiving from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha and Krishna, is beyond our estimation. We cannot conceive, we cannot even estimate the mercy we are receiving from the Lord. Simply by chanting Krishna's name once. Namabas. All the sins that you performed in millions of previous lifetimes are washed away just like that. Just everyone say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now if we chant Namabas, means free of offenses. All the sins we have performed in millions and millions and millions of lifetimes, just by that one name, Hare Krishna, well, we're saying 2 names of God there, is washed away. And the proof is Ajamil. Ajamil, all he chanted was the name Narayan. As soon as he gave his son the name Narayan, all the sins that he committed in this life and in his past lives was all washed away, is all cancelled out, all eradicated. So we should have faith in the statement of the Vedas that by chanting Krishna's name you can cancel out more sins than you are able to commit. There is a verse in English that by chanting Krishna's name you can counteract more sins than you are able to commit. So we're chanting Krishna's name every day. All of us sitting in this room, we chant every day Krishna's name. And we're chanting Namabhas. We are chanting Namabhas. Sometimes we may chant Namaparad a little bit, but we're chanting Namabhas. So that means all the sins we have performed are being washed away, are being eradicated. So the Lord's mercy on us is beyond our estimation. The devotee understands that the Lord's causeless mercy is beyond his estimation. What does causeless mean? Editor? Without cause. What else? Has no reason, no rhyme or reason. Without endeavor.
No boundaries to it.
No boundaries to it. Yadricha. No obligation. Yadricha. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur uses that word. Comes without any accord. It just comes. Causeless. See, Lord Chaitanya gives that type of mercy, causeless. He's going out to people and giving out mercy. But Krishna is saying, no, you first surrender to me. So the mercy Lord Chaitanya has is superior to that of Krishna. Ramchandra is known as Purushottama Mayada. Purushottama Mayada, the Lord of etiquette, Mayada. He did everything proper. Purushottama Mayada. And Lord Krishna is known as Leela Purushottama, which means the Lord of Leela, pastimes. But Lord Chaitanya is known as Prema Purushottama, the Lord of Prem, giving out love. So Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, he just gives out Krishna Prem. He doesn't say, first surrender to me and abandon all other types of worship and only become my devotee. He doesn't say that. That's what Krishna says. Savadamam pratijya mamikam shanam vraja. So Krishna is making condition. First you surrender and give up all other types of worship. Ekam, worship me alone. Then I'll protect you. But Lord Chaitanya is not saying that. Lord Chaitanya is just running after the conditioned souls and giving them prem. This is his mercy. He's giving out prem. So this mercy is superior to justice. Justice is something which is given to you. But superior to justice and sweeter than justice is mercy. Like in a law of court, you expect justice. But sometimes you may have done something wrong by mistake and you just throw yourself at the mercy of the court. So this mercy is sweeter, it's higher. And the mercy is coming from Mahaprabhu. So this mercy which is coming from Mahaprabhu is causeless, has no bounds, has no limitation, has no cause, has no rhyme or reason. It just comes. Now you might say, well, why did it come to us or me? There are so many Indian people, there are so many Europeans or colours, and there are so many people living in KwaZulu-Natal, Chatsworth or Phoenix or Sipinga, wherever the place may be. How come it came to me? By the Lord's mercy. Why were you chosen? It's nothing special you did, I assure you. It's mercy. This is the meaning of mercy. You could say, well, yes, I'm carrying them from past life. That's true. But in your past life, you came in contact with devotional service, you took prasad. It's all by Krishna's mercy. Bhakti produces bhakti. So in our past we may have engaged unknowingly in some type of act of bhakti, but like taking prasad or hearing the holy name. But it's all ultimately coming from the Lord. So this devotee understands the Lord's causeless mercies beyond his or her estimation. We can't conceive how fortunate we are, all of us. We have taken shelter of Mahaprabhu. Can you understand how fortunate you are? I was reading the other day in the 5th canto how the demigods pray to take birth. The demigods are praying to give up their long life, to give up their beauty, to give up their opulence and take birth, especially in India or in the Indian community where they can join the Hare Krishna movement and engage in devotional service. They're praying like this. It's in the 5th canto, chapter 18. So a devotee understands the Lord's mercy is beyond his estimation. He cannot know how much he's being benefited by the grace of the Lord. Yes. Our present position in devotional service is due to mercy. It's not due to our own strength. By my strength, I was able to chant so many rounds. By my strength, I was able to organize things that I'm a devotee or do so much service. No. Otherwise we become puffed up by borrowing what's that saying? Puffed up by borrowing feathered plumes. So it's not by our own activity. We are just the subjects of mercy. This is how we should think. Somehow some mercy has come to me. I am attached to Mahaprabhu. I like to chant his name. I like to chant Krishna's name. I am inclined to Krishna. I like to offer my food to Krishna. This is mercy, mercy. And this mercy extends to all our family members, even if they're non-devotees. Best thing we can do for all our family members is engage in devotional service. In the Chaitanya Bhagavad, Vrindavan Das Thakur says, when an advanced Vaishnava is born, then every living entity within 800,000 kilometers, 800,000 miles, change that. It's 100,000 yojans. A yojan is 8 miles. So within 800,000 miles is purified. Can you imagine that? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, also in the purport to Chaitanya Bhagavad, that even a beginning devotee can purify 3 of his family members. 3 generations of family members. And a Madhyam, it's 14 generations. And an Uttama, 100 generations. So at least, we qualify as beginning devotees. So we've liberated, or we've benefited 3 generations of our family members. So the mercy just doesn't come to us, it comes to our family members also. And we may see in this lifetime, they may take to Krishna consciousness, they may not. But we should have faith that the next lifetime they'll be benefited. Sometimes you taste the fruit in this life. Like after 30 years now, my mother is coming to India, coming to Vrindavan, and promises to be a vegetarian. And my brother promises not to drink alcohol for 7 days. So I'm seeing in this lifetime, Keshava Bharati Prabhu, his mother, she was completely against. Right at the end of her life, she got cancer. You read that article in BTG? She got cancer, and she started to read all the books which were in boxes hidden away in the garage. And in the very end, Keshava Bharati Prabhu, my godbrother, went to his mother in America and got her initiated on the phone to Sri Ram Maharaj. Indraduna Maharaj's mother was also somewhat similar. So even in this lifetime, sometimes we see our own family members take interest. But even if we don't see them take interest, we should know in their next life, they'll start off from a good position. They'll start off from a good position. Like Rama also. I knew his father and mother in 1974. And I used to go to his house in Saunders Avenue in Isipingo, and they were great supporters of us, life members. He used to give a lot of financial help, and we used to do programs in Railway Hotel. 1974, 1975, 1976. I remember. And crowded, packed out. Big programs. So now their son is chanting 16 rounds, following all the principles. You see how it works. So devotional service is all auspicious. So this is the Lord's mercy, not coming only to us, but also coming to our family members. So we cannot understand the Lord's mercy. The devotee cannot understand. The devotee understands the Lord's causeless mercy is beyond his estimation. He cannot know how much he is being benefited by the grace of the Lord. We cannot understand how fortunate we are. And the sad thing is that sometimes we get caught up in our own little world. And we think, oh, woe is me, I have a headache. Oh, terrible, woe is me, some domestic problem. Can't get a job. Can't get married to who I want to get married to. Can't get children. Things aren't going right. Someone said an unkind word to me. And you go into complete depression. And yet we're so fortunate we have the Lord's mercy. On the one hand, we have such a valuable gift. On the other hand, such a small thing throws us off. It doesn't make sense. We have to understand things in perspective. We're all very fortunate. So Shrutakirti Prabhu is also very fortunate. He surrendered when he was 18 years old. I remember. And he was on the campaign. 1980-81. He was on the campaign. And he was initiated in those days as Gopal. And even before that, he used to see me at university. He was studying at UDW. And he would see me come on a Tuesday afternoon. And Tuesday lunchtime, and I used to give talks at university. And he would be in the canteen looking at me. Like that. He would be looking at me. And he told me that he felt sorry for me because I was so thin. Of course, now it's around the other way. He's gone thin and I've gone fat. But in those days I was pretty thin, so he actually felt very, I guess because he felt sorry for me, he made some advancement. So he came to a few programs at Westfield University and he joined. When he was 18 years old he joined. Now he's 41. And he put in 20 years service as temple president, And a very likable person. Always friendly with the congregation, a very grassroots person. He wasn't aloof in his glass house, so to speak. He was very down to earth. And then in the late 90s, he was helping Bhakti Chumraj a little. And then he drifted a little, we have to be honest. He was in Benoni with his brother. He was doing a bit of teaching. His spiritual life was going down a little, although he still followed the principles. And then some other Krsna arranged this thing, that in January he came down with kidney failure. And progressively it's got worse, and now we see after 10 months he's bedridden. Although, funnily enough, yesterday he did eat solid food. And today he's going to eat some solid food, but it looks like he's, with this type of kidney failure, it's just a matter of months, weeks, months, before you leave your body. So Lord Chaitanya has his arrangement. We can't question Mahaprabhu's arrangement. He places different people in different situations. He puts people, you take birth in Phoenix, you take birth here, you take birth there, you take birth in America. Yeah. And then somehow he brings us together under the shelter of Prabhupada. It's by the arrangement of Mahaprabhu, the great devotees like Indraduna Maharaj, Giriraj Swami, Krishnadas Maharaj, etc. They take birth, in India, in America, Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj, New Zealand, and then at a certain time, they're attracted to Prabhupada at a certain point, and then they use all their energy to serve Prabhupada's mission. So the same with Shruta. It was by high arrangement he was placed, and at a certain point it was activated when he was 18, and he surrendered, and he was used as an instrument to perform wonderful service. Temple president in Cape Town, temple president here, Durban, and other types of programs. So now Lord Chaitanya has his plan. It's not our question, it's not our position to ask why, why. It's up to the Lord. He's the supreme autocrat. Simply by gazing, he creates millions of universes. If he wants to move one jiva from one place to another, who are we to question? So he does it. So this is what he does. And he's done it recently with Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Gaur Govinda Maharaj, and others also will leave their bodies. We know Ramananda left his body. He was also in the hands of Mahaprabhu. Acha Vigraha left her body. Chintamani. Who else? Jagannath Mishra, nice old man. This is all in the hands of Mahaprabhu. He's moving people around, moving living entities. Now you go this universe. Now you join in my pastimes. Alright, now you join in Krishna's pastimes. Now you join in my pastimes as Mahaprabhu. Now you go where Prabhupada has gone to, with Tamal Krishna Maharaj, because they had a very close relationship. So you go now to where Prabhupada has gone and help him preach more there. It can be like this. There are many planes of existence, not just this one plane, that we see through our eyes. There are so many planes of existence. Right now, Mahaprabhu's pastimes are going on somewhere. Right now, Krishna's pastimes are going on somewhere. It's reasonable to accept. Prabhupada is preaching in some universe right now. Prabhupada wrote a Vyasa Puja offering to his Guru Maharaj once, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, saying, now you are doing the same thing you did here in some other universe. In other words, he's inferring that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is simply preaching somewhere else. So the Lord's mercy upon the devotee is beyond the devotee's estimation. We cannot understand how we're being benefited by the Lord. You just think about those words. Very nice words. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions?